How to uncover a person's design thinking. From structure to perception to growth, most of us grew up in a world shaped by the same formula. Follow the rules, look for the correct answers, take the safe path. Fit into the framework already given to you. Logic, analysis, structure, critical thinking. These were the tools handed to us as if they were the only way to move through life. But the farther I walked on my own path, the more deeply I understood something else. Logic does not determine the direction of a life. Design does. Design thinking, rarely named in the past, is in fact one of the most essential abilities. For anyone trying to navigate an unpredictable world, it is not a technique. It is a way of being, and the only way I know how to explain it is through the path I've walked myself. 1. Why design thinking was less visible in the past. It is not that design thinking was unimportant before. It simply wasn't required of everyone. In earlier decades, life paths were more stable, industries were steady, career ladders predictable, and most decisions could be handled with discipline, logic, and consistency. Creation existed, of course. Scientists, entrepreneurs, artists, thinkers were always carving new spaces. But for most people, a single well-defined path could sustain an entire lifetime. Today, the ground beneath our feet moves far too quickly for that. 2. Why design thinking matters now more than ever. The reason is simple. The world has become too fast, too fluid, and too complex for linear answers. Information multiplies faster than we can process. Problems evolve before we finish defining them, and many decisions no longer have a correct outcome to refer to. AI sharpens this shift even further. It writes, paints, analyzes, even reasons. Tasks that once required years of training. So what becomes scarce? Not skill, not execution, not efficiency, but something deeper. The ability to sense a direction where none yet exists. The ability to reorganize chaos into structure. The ability to design one's own path. This is design thinking. 3. Design thinking is not a method. It is a way a life unfolds. When I look back on my own journey, leaving a prestigious corporate position, to fly alone to Hainan with nothing but a suitcase, letting go of a thriving business, to return to the solitude of a studio, seeing a red brick building for the first time, and knowing instantly that every brick was alive, founding a museum without a blueprint, stepping into social media at the most stable point of the museum, embracing AI as a new medium of expression. None of these choices were logical. In fact, on paper, almost all of them looked unreasonable. And yet, they were the clearest decisions of my life, not because I calculated them, but because something in me recognized the path before my mind could justify it. That is the essence of design thinking. 1. Entrepreneurship. Hearing the first inner line. In my 20s, I worked at a powerful company. Secure, respected, well paid. It was the kind of job people could stay in until retirement. But when I heard that China would allow private companies, a spark lit inside me. Without a plan, without a safety net, I flew to Hainan and started a business. From a small hotel room. Years later, when it succeeded, I asked myself a question. Is this truly my life? My answer opened a completely different path. To painting, beginning again from zero, leaving the business world for a blank canvas, was unimaginable to many around me. My sister once looked at my solitary studio life and said it reminded her of a nun. But that quiet space was where my soul breathed. Years later, Collectors found my work, and my own collection quietly grew alongside it. 3. The red brick building, the clearest moment of design. When I first saw that building, my agent insisted it was too old, too large, too impractical. Others shook their heads. But to me, every brick was moving. The structure was waking under the light. It felt as if the building itself was waiting for me. I didn't negotiate. I didn't hesitate. I said, "I'll take it." This was not impulse. It was design. The future form of the museum appeared in the first moment I saw it. For the museum, when structure becomes visible. As my collection grew, the red brick building naturally became its home. It was not a plan. It was a path revealing itself. 5. Social media and AI, the third rebirth from zero. After the museum stabilized, most would have chosen to maintain that peace. But another inner line appeared. With only my assistant, I began creating short videos. Not knowing where they would go, not knowing who would watch. A year and a half later, almost 300 films travel across continents in seconds. This is not about numbers. It is responsibility. To deliver beauty, thought, soul, and the breath of civilization to a world that needs them. AI magnifies this mission. It amplifies decades of structure, rhythm, and perception into clearer light. This is not a transformation. It is my third creation from zero. 4. The deepest foundation of design thinking, inner freedom. Design thinking does not grow in a mind tightly bound by fear, expectation, or identity. It needs an inner quiet, a spaciousness of spirit, a freedom to listen to one's own voice. Beneath the noise of the world, freedom does not mean lack of structure. It means we are not imprisoned by structure. Only a free interior life can sense its own direction, without being dragged by the crowd. 5. How can design thinking be awakened? My answer is simple. 1. Feel again. Not with logic. With body, intuition, attention. 2. Step outside the scope. New root cannot grow from old boundaries. 3. It's okay to try and make mistakes. Direction becomes clear only as you walk. 4. Connect the fragments. This is the heart of structure and creation. 5. Listen with humility. The real path is often deeper than our reasoning. Conclusion. Design thinking is a way to stay awake while being alive. It is not theory, not technique, not strategy. It is a posture toward life, a way to remain clear in complexity, sensitive in noise, and faithful to your own inner line, even when the world cannot see it, because when life hands you a path, the only real question is, will you take it? Over and over, from nothing into something only you could create.